And now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akugha as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome. This is Inside the Niger Delta and I am Mamode Akugha. Today on the program, we're going to bring to you the threat of the herdsmen attacks in the Niger Delta. Of course, a lot of people know about the attacks of herdsmen in the Middle Belt and some northern states, Benue State, Plateau State, Taraba, Zamfara, and all that. But not much is heard about the menace of these herdsmen in other parts of the country, in particular the Niger Delta. But they are already in the region, and over time they have been engaged in attacks of people around the Niger Delta. So today on the program, we're going to bring to you a report which we have put together to show the activities of herdsmen and the different attempts by governments of the Niger Delta states to try to arrest the activities of these herdsmen in the state. And also, we will take you to Delta State, where we're going to take a look at a very, very important road that traverses all the way from Ughelli up to the state capital, Asaba. That road, a particular section of it, of course, is in a state of disrepair. What is the situation there? And what is the Delta State government doing to try to fix that road as fast as possible? That, of course, is the Isoko axis of the Ughelli-Asaba road. Well, we'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll begin our program proper for today.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Welcome back. Well, quite a lot of people know about the menace of herdsmen and the attacks and the killings that they've done in some parts of the Middle Belt and, in fact, the northern region. But not much is known about their activities in other parts of the country, in particular, the Niger Delta. But the herdsmen are already here in the Niger Delta. And in fact, in some communities, they've overrun those communities, taken complete control of those communities, and people from those communities have to pay the herdsmen to be able to access their farms. They portend a very, very grave danger to the Niger Delta. In our next package now, we're going to tell you and bring to you stories from across the region and show you the attacks and the activities of these faceless jihadists and herdsmen across Nigeria's Niger Delta region. In search of more grazing fields for their cattle, herdsmen in the country have been under pressure to locate more fertile and lush green territories to promote their business. A southward migration, it seems, is the only option needed to survive the hostile environmental and socio-political conditions in northern Nigeria. Over the years, there have been several reports in the media highlighting forced occupation of communities, as well as the killings and displacement of their aborigines by suspected killer herdsmen in the north-central states of Taraba, Plateau, Adamawa, and Benue. The southward migration of herdsmen saw their arrival in the Niger Delta a few years ago, prompting in its wake a reenactment of sorrow, tears, and blood, in the words of late Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Sadly, however, this ugly development in the Delta has gone underreported over the years, but a concerned group, the 21st Century Youths of the Niger Delta, has drawn public attention to the region's vulnerability to the nefarious activities of the herdsmen. At a meeting in Ikorabasi, Akwa Ibom State on Sunday, 1st of July 2018, the group issued a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government to stop the mindless killings by the herdsmen and retool the nation's security architecture for improved service delivery in the protection of lives and property across the country. The position of the Niger Delta youths comes on the heels of several bloody attacks on Niger Delta communities by suspected herdsmen, a tragic development that has found little space in the media all this while. As it appears, Delta State may have become one of the worst hit victims of the marauding herdsmen in search of more areas of conquest to expand their livestock business. On January 8th this year, 5 farmers were reportedly shot dead by suspected herdsmen in 2 separate attacks in Abraka and Obiaruku, both in Okwani and Ethiop local government areas of Delta State. 2 of the slain farmers in Abraka, Akpovona Felix and Sunday Akpupu, said to be cousins from Eku community, were allegedly killed for refusing herdsmen access to their farmlands.
We want the cows to leave our community because they used to destroy all our crops in the farm. When we go to farm, they have to rape us in the farm. So we have no opportunity to go to the farm again. So we want the government to come and assist for us so that the cows will leave our farm, so that we have our own freedom.
In furtherance of their bloodletting campaign, the armed herdsmen were said to have launched a second attack in the space of 2 weeks. In the month of January 2018, there was a siege on Obianyama and Onitsha Olona communities, both in Ika Northeast and Onitsha local government areas of Delta State, in which 2 persons were killed and several others injured. A hunter, identified as Mr. Omalieku, was shot dead in Obianyama, while the victim killed in Onitsha Olona was an unidentified youth. Determined to expand their business by brute force, the merciless herdsmen, sometime in March this year, swooped on Ugweru community in Ughelli North local government area and killed 4 farmers on a fishing expedition. The attack, which took place in Oreba village on Sunday 18th of March, immediately created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty in the entire area. In protest against the alleged killings, women in Delta State have on several occasions barricaded the east-west road.
We want to make Inama go. Make Inama not come here again. They kill our people. Every day we know they go farm. If Inama with the food and not come out for the road, for our boot, this road will not open up. Yes. Make Inama go. Our president, Mamode Akugha, said people should fall back to agriculture, which our people are doing. Our governor also support it. Why myself, both my local government chairman, we also support the agriculture. But now, because of the Fulani rearers, our people find it difficult to go to the bush. They no longer they are safe. Because we have been addressing the issue, we have been crying out, but no ear have been listening to us. But today, just of sudden, the women come out massively to the road to block the federal highway for the whole world to hear about it, what is happening.
As a matter of fact, 3 communities in Ugweru were occupied by ravaging herdsmen who demanded fees to be paid by local farmers to access their ancestral lands. This was disclosed by Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Okowa maintained that the state would not cede a single plot of land for the establishment of cattle colonies.
It now appears that the whole issue as to the farmer-herdsman clash is becoming more and more evident every year. That is also because the desertification going on in the country is getting worse. We are not finding immediate solutions. And then the movement of people during the dry season to the southern part where you have more rain and you do not yet have desertification is getting more and more now. And unfortunately, in Delta State, as I did say, our land is also thinning out. A lot of the space we have here is water and waterlogged. Our people are even finding it difficult to have enough land for farming. So we cannot, as a coastal state, believe that the little land we have that we can afford. We can afford at this point in time, that is the truth. We cannot afford at this point in time to provide land for cattle colonies.
During this period, the neighboring state of Edo also had its own fair share of mayhem and trauma unleashed by bloodthirsty herdsmen. On Friday, the 16th of March this year, about 5 persons, including a first-year student of the Ambrose Ali University in Ekpoma, were reportedly killed by suspected herdsmen in 2 separate attacks on Ugboha and Odigwete, both in Esan Southeast and Ovia Northeast local government areas of Edo State. The slain student, identified as Collins Ojerahi, was shot dead in Ugboha on his way home. The month of March was a period of untold tragedy for the people of Edo State. No thanks to the ruthlessness of rampaging herdsmen unleashing terror on defenseless communities. Recall that during this period, armed bandits suspected to be herdsmen laid siege for motorists at the popular Ugbemudia farms at Igwebi Hobo village and took their victims to an unknown destination. One of the victims of this dastardly act was a former chairman of Esako East local government area of Edo State, Mr. Suleiman Afegwa. The late Afegwa, a consummate politician loved by all who came in close contact with him, was shot and died on the spot as he attempted to escape to safety. In reaction to the state of insecurity linked to the activities of pastoralists, Governor Baseki earlier in the month of February called for a meeting with herdsmen and security agencies in the state, where he set up a committee to investigate and come up with findings on the reported incidents. He also urged Edo people not to abandon their farmlands out of fear and moved to impose a 90-day ban on open grazing in communities attacked by suspected herdsmen.
We are, by this meeting, agreeing and we ban night herding, with nobody should herd their cattle at night. Any herdsman we find with arms will be arrested and charged for illegal possession of firearms. Because you do not need AK-47 to herd your cattle. The first responsibility of this committee, which we will set up this week and must meet immediately, is to review all the cases of herdsmen Fulani clash that has occurred in that local government. We have the reports in government. Between us and the police, we will give you all the cases that have been reported. You need to review it and investigate and find out what happened and see how that issue was settled. Whether if it's the case of rape or armed robbery or by herdsmen, we'll find out, was the case ever investigated? Did they ever arrest anybody? I will have a state committee. The state committee will gather the reports monthly from all of the local governments to see what happened and how the matters were dealt with. I will be the head of that state committee. And the CP, the director of SSS, the brigade commander will be members, and we'll get membership from all the senatorial areas from the Hausa Fulani community. With these measures in place, I am sure that we will all be able to curtail the problems and make sure that the crisis facing the rest of the country does not spread to Edo State.
If anything happens, the government will be able to talk directly with either Seriki Hausa, myself, and other appointed leaders, so that we know who is to respond, we go and get them, and report back to the government or security agencies to stop further loss of life.
We want to live in peace, and we're ready to compensate and give our life to the state government, whoever commit, and we need the law to hold that person responsible.
Bayelsa State, the cradle of crude oil exploration in the Niger Delta, has also been a hotbed of crisis involving nomadic cattle rearers and local farmers. Some 2 years ago, there were reports of violent attacks on farmers in Biogbolo, Yanuzie Epie, Ukutukutu, and Epie in Yenagua local government area, resulting in machete cuts and other forms of injuries allegedly inflicted on them by herdsmen encroaching on their farmlands. A reprisal attack came last December when some unknown gunmen killed one Alhaji Jubril Abdul Karim, leader of the Fulani Herdsmen Association, also known as Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in Bayelsa State. The man, described as the highest supplier of beef in the state, was killed alongside 3 of his workers in the outskirts of Yenagoa, a development that prompted the state government to act immediately. Governor Seriake Dickson swung into action in search of a lasting solution to the recurrent violent clashes between herdsmen and farmers, with a ban on open grazing in Bayelsa State.
How can a cow be moving a state capital in the expressway, destroying people's life? It's not a good idea at all. They should, if they are giving Bayelsa Palm, they should live in Bayelsa Palm. They stay in that place, not to move around the state capital.
Seriake Dickson had, in his wisdom, confined the activities of herdsmen to a vast expanse of land at the state-owned Bayelsa Palm, but the governor's directive was flouted recently at a huge cost. John Bulus, a resident of Yenagoa, was recently admitted at the Federal Medical Center in Yenagoa for treatment from severe injuries following a head-on collision with a herd of cows late at night in the Bayelsa state capital, Yenagoa.
Yeah, it all happened when I was driving back home last night, and suddenly I ran into herds of cattle that were just on the road, and there was no way. If I had tried to dodge them, I wouldn't have been alive today. The only option is just to go in, and so it happened. It would have been even worse than this. So I thank God the way it happened, and I'm alive today.
I think it's a lapse on the herdsmen which are controlling the cattle in Bayelsa State. This announcement has been made, giving them ultimatums to take their cows to Bayelsa Palms. So we don't know how this issue is still lingering to the extent that man life is also is at stake. As it stands, I have taken a position to see the driver in the hospital in Glory Land here, seen in a critical condition, though he's responding to treatment, but I think we have to do something about it.
The flouting of the directive against open grazing in Bayelsa State may have heightened the debate on the desirability or otherwise of Governor Dickson's decision to provide a settlement for cattle dealers in the state.
We have no land, no grazing land. We live in the swamp. We live in the wetland. We have no grazing land for anybody to come and graze there. So that is not even an issue. They can't graze there. They won't. We won't even allow them.
I don't think they should be giving ranches for them to do their businesses. How many Bayelsans have been given coastal regions in the north for them to go and fish? This is a personal trade that they are doing, taking ranches from the lands belonging to the people, ancestral lands of the people, to give to a particular tribe to do their personal business. It's going to cause more problems in the land.
If at a time when there are no ranches, herdsmen can go about killing people, what if we now have a community called a ranch? What do you think will happen? Everyone will run away from the Niger Delta.
On a national scale, armed herdsmen have perpetrated more killings than the dreaded Boko Haram sect since 2015. In southern Kaduna, for instance, herdsmen reportedly killed about 808 persons in 53 villages and burned down over 1,400 houses in 2017. At the moment, scores of thousands in that state are taking refuge in internally displaced persons camps, and about 80,000 of the IDPs are said to be school-age children with no access to education. With the use of sophisticated weapons like AK-47 and, in at least one reported case, a rocket launcher and rocket-propelled grenades, the marauding herdsmen have slain and displaced thousands in several coordinated attacks across the country.
They should proscribe any organization called herdsmen or cattle rearers or whatever it is, because people are hiding under that name to cause havoc in the country. Governors are supposed to be the chief security officers of the state, and they should regard these people as terrorists and act accordingly.
We also noticed that most of them were not Nigerians, so most of them grazed from outside Nigeria into Nigeria and started perpetrating the kind of evils that we are witnessing today. So my own take any day, any time, is that there should be a proper check and control.
The ugly trend has drawn the attention of the House of Lords in the United Kingdom, which recently debated the issue.
We mustn't wait for a genocide to happen as it did in Rwanda. Ominously, my lords, history could very easily be repeated.
It is also a wake-up call on the federal government to retool the nation's security architecture, as the 21st century youths of the Niger Delta have demanded in their recent meeting in Akwa Ibom State.
Every form of killing by the herdsmen is something we don't want to see again. It is a thing of pain that the government has not really done anything to put an end to these killings that have been coming to the Niger Delta.
French president, when he visited, he said they cannot solve our problems for us. We should solve our problems ourselves. And how can that be done? Without tribalism, nepotism, it will be arrested and we will all live in peace.
For a battered region contending with the crisis of environmental degradation, poverty, insecurity, and underdevelopment, the herdsmen onslaught will most likely escalate the current tension in the communities. Given the exponential rise in the country's population, there is an envisaged fierce competition for scarce resources, including farmlands, which have been largely polluted from crude oil and gas exploration activities in the Delta. This will further deepen the crisis of food insecurity in the Niger Delta, weaken both regional and national economies, and further derail the ongoing peace process in the region. The expectation is that respective governments in the Niger Delta take urgent steps to shield their people from the aggression of killer herdsmen who are currently on the prowl in the region. More importantly, the federal government should mandate the police, armed forces, and other security agencies, which constitutionally are within its exclusive control, to save lives and property, not only in the Niger Delta, but across the Federation.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The governors of the Niger Delta states must do all in their power to protect their people. After all, the primary function of government is the protection of lives and property. They must act and take necessary decisions to protect their people from these marauding herdsmen, these faceless herdsmen that go about perpetrating killings all over the country. Now, moving away from that, we take you now to Delta State, where we're going to take a look at the all-important road, very, very important road, the Ughelli-Asaba road, which the Delta State government for so many years now have been trying to fix. Well, some portions of that road have been fixed, but the Isoko axis from Ughelli up to the Ndokwa area is yet to be fixed. The road was passable, at least. It had several potholes and it was bad, but it was passable. All of a sudden, now that the rains have started, the contractors have gone to site, and what has happened on that road is that it has become almost impossible for cars to use the road. It's almost impossible as we speak. And everyone is wondering why the Delta State government at this time will mobilize to site when they know that the rains are here and walking on those roads will be extremely difficult. Well, we went to take a look at the road in company of the president of the Isoko National Youth Assembly, Comrade Umuakpa Ovie, who of course expressed his opinion on the road. And we also spoke to some women who do their daily business along that road.
The challenge we have is the timing and also the pace of the job. The timing and the pace of the job. So to us, we believe that the contractor has not really done well enough as far as this road is concerned. The truth is that the road was bad before now, but not as bad as this. As at the time we cried out, the road was bad. But the contractor, for reason best known to them, they have decided to, because then a section of the road was passable. But as it stands today, we cannot actually, you can see for yourself, up the the other side of the road is bad, this other side has also been destroyed by the work that is currently going on. So to us, we would have preferred the dry season for work to resume properly, because whatever they are doing now is just a palliative measure to ensure that the road is passable for now. Later they will remove. By the time those they are removed, of course it's going to be extra cost, extra burden on the state resources. We are crying because majority of the people that use this road, they are Isoko people. You understand? We have a polytechnic that has a huge student population that use the road on a daily basis. This is the only road that people use, pass to Asaba or nature. You understand? So to us, we will sincerely call on His Excellency to do everything within his capacity to ensure that they speed up the pace of this work.
We beg the governor, say make they do the road for we not get work. We be women, we not fit thief, we not fit do any other thing. Now let the market now we dey manage with our children. Now we dey take the train our children. My pikin dey and we she no money to go give her to pay rentage.
Almost 3 months now. They grade this road. Since they grade the road, the companies are not working to it takes. They only feed the road with red sand, and the red sand, when rain fall, you see everywhere. No car is moving. They are moving in our old road. Some of the big truck destroy the electric pole. Then the community block those roads. Now to pass this road now is a problem. So I don't know whether the governor is looking about this road. We don't know.
Well, to prevent waste of money and waste of government resources, the Delta State government ought to do what is right, fix that road at the appropriate time. If it was necessary to have waited till the dry season, they needed to have waited till the dry season to begin to fix that road. But having started work on it now, they must do all they can to ensure that Deltans are able to use that road without pains. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on our program for today. My name is Mamode Akugha. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, same time, same station. I'll be here to bring you more developments from the Niger Delta.